What's going on, guys? It is the Shinobi, and we are back with another video here. And today, we're going to go over my insane Bloodied Commando build version 2 here, guys. I did my first one, did about 6,000 views right now, so we're about to do another after the update. So, before we get started, I want to let you guys know I am streaming over on Twitch, and I'm streaming on TikTok, the Shinobi1. I believe my Twitch link is in my channel description, guys, okay? We're streaming on Twitch right now. I might come back to YouTube, but right now we're over on Twitch. So, let's get started here. So, let's go over first my legendary perks here. And before we get started again, I just want to say, look, this is completely optional build, okay? I know some people may not like this build, but it's completely optional. Everybody plays in their own way. Everybody has their own opinion. I completely understand that, okay? No one is forcing you to use this build, but I find this build very enjoyable to do high damage numbers. Alright, let's begin. So, our first one we have is taking one for the team for that additional 40% more damage when you do attack, when enemies attack you. And then we just have these maxed out legendary perks, strength, perception, endurance, agility, and luck. We have these perks maxed out strictly because I want more perks. I feel like the more perks, the better I'm going to be. Okay? That's just how I feel here. So, those are our legendary perks here. And we're going to go ahead and start with the strength category. Now, some of these perks are optional. I'll go over the optional ones that you could move around if you feel you don't need them. And some of them are necessary, okay, for this build to work. First is strong back. Now, this perk is very optional. If you feel like you have enough carry weight with the unyielding armor, you don't need strong back. But I always could use more carry weight, so I went ahead and threw on strong back. Traveling pharmacy. This is definitely a must-have perk. I carry around a lot of chems, and I'm assuming you do too. Easy target. This is a must perk. This build relies heavily on limb damage. So this is a must perk. Plus 75% range damage to crippling targets. So this combined with a few other perks is phenomenal. We'll go over it here in a second. Scattering shot. 20% of damage dealt to a limb is applied to all limbs on your target. Again, these are very important because if you have 75% range damage to cripple targets, let's say their leg is crippled, that's 75% extra damage. So, and this applies to all of it. So very, very good. Two perk cards work together there. So, second, we have Bandolier. Must for less weight. Ammo weighs a ton, so it helps you with ammo. I have Arms Keeper 1 only because I have Arms Keeper on my armor. So I noticed when I had Arms Keeper 2, nothing did anything, but Arms Keeper 1 does. So it's up to you guys. Like I said, this is optional area here. You can take off Arms Keeper 1 if you have all your Arms Keeper on all your armor, but it's completely optional. It just depends on how you have your armor legendary mod situation going. Okay, and then we have Blocker 2. I feel like Blocker is necessary. Enemies hit a lot, you know. Ghouls, Assaultrons for sure when you're running those silos. Melee damage is crazy, so that's a necessary. So, we have So we're over in perception now. We have 14 perception. This perk is one of the new changes that they made this season. It is number cruncher here. Your weapons have 2% increased damage per AP cost. We have that on here. We have down ranger. You do 20% range damage to far enemies. As you know, you lose damage the further away your enemies are, so this helps just kind of get rid of that there. You have Tormentor. This is important as well. You deal 20% more damage per crippling limb. So, like I said, if you have this combines with Scattering Shot, if you have Scattering Shot, you're going to damage other limbs. So if there's 2 limbs that are damaged, you're dealing what, 40% damage? And then also if you have this, that's 75. So just add 20 to 75, that's 95% more damage right there. Pretty crazy, huh? So these 3 perk cards work together very fluently. They're necessary for this build to work, okay? And we have Tank Killer, obviously, for that 36% armor penetration there. And we have Concentrated Fire for that extra 3% damage per shot. Alright, over in our Endurance, we have Life Giver, which of course gives you more AP. Ironclad, which gives you more armor protection. We have Iron Stomach, which increases your damage and energy resistance while not diseased. We have Thirst Quencher, which is an important perk in my opinion, because you're going to be using VATS, so you're going to want your AP up. So we have this, increases your max AP when not diseased. We have Radical, it's a bloody build, so very necessary to increase that strength. We have Starch Genes, you're using Mutations, you're going to want this. And we have 1 Thorough Hikers. Now, you can, like I said, you can move this out, you can keep it in if you have Thorough Hikers on your armor. I had just 1 in there, but it's up to you. Very optional there for that perk. Okay, Charisma. This is another optional area. Very optional, honestly, if you want to switch out these perks or these perk points. So, Bodyguards. We have Bodyguards with gain damage and energy resistance based on your Charisma and number of teammates. This perk is definitely optional. I thought about moving it before, but we went ahead and kept it because we want as much damage and energy resistance as possible due to the fact that we are bloodied. Strange in Numbers. This one's not very optional. You know what Strange in Numbers is. It's been in the game forever. Spiritual Healer. Regenerates AP while on a team based on your Charisma. This is important. It's basically a Rejuvenators, but for a perk card. We have Tenderizer. Each attack makes your target take increased damage. Very good, very good. Over in Intelligence, we have Field Surgeon. Stim packs and right away heal 60% faster. This helps when you're trying to heal stim packs fast, or you're low on health. You got to take a stim pack. This helps a lot. Keep you alive. Nerd Rage. While your health is low, gain increased damage and AP regen. Simple. Nerd Rage has been in the game for ages. Science. Now this is the new Science perk. Now this perk is strictly because we use the Plasma Rifle in this build. You can use the Plasma Rifle. If you don't use the Plasma Rifle, you don't have to put this on there. But I use the Plasma Rifle. This increases energy damage based on your intelligence. Then we have batteries included to help with the ammo. So, over in Agility. Now, we're going to move our camera. Alright, we moved our camera over to the other side so you can see this. Apologize. We're going to edit that up in editing. Anyway, let's get back to it. So, in Agility, we have Action Boy. AP points regen 45% faster. Like I said, this is a VATS build. We have Gunslinger Expert here. Again, this uses the combine of limb damage, the new limb damage perks, combined with Onslaught, combined with a little bit of weak point damage. But we'll go over the weak spot damage later in the later video, or later in the video. So we have Gunslinger Expert, the Onslaught perks. We have all 3 of these, except for the one that builds over time. And then we have Enforcer. Now this is the final nail in the final piece in the puzzle as far as the limb damage. So your small guns gain 15% staggering chance and 75% limb damage. This is very, very important because now you gain 75% limb damage, so you're going to be doing damage faster to the limb. So the faster you do more damage, the faster you get this additional 75% and 20%. And on top of that, you're doing all damage to limbs, 20% all damage. So this is the nail in the coffin right here. Now, I did get heavily inspiration from Mr. Westek's build that he did on the full health. Well, obviously there's some perks that he doesn't have. So this is, but I give him a shout out here in this video. But great perk. And Adrenaline again for that max to get that damage up. So, over in Luck. Luck is very... You can change around Luck, so we'll go over that. Bloody Mess for the extra 15% damage. Grim Reaper Sprint. Now, this is another perk you can change around, but I like the idea of having a chance to get all my action points restored. So, if you don't want this, don't put it on here, okay? Very optional. This perk is very optional. We have better criticals necessarily to have. This is a necessary perk to have. We have, I'm not even going to attempt to say this. I got made fun of in my last Bloody build. But anyway, this is an important perk because it's just survivability. So we have Class Freak, very important as well. And Curator. I have this because we use small gun bobbleheads, and a lot of people don't have. So this is optional. Because the one thing I hate would be to run out of bobbleheads, and this makes them last twice as long. And we have Critical Savvy. So those are the perks we have. So I'll give you guys one moment to look at this real quick. I apologize about that camera swap. I'm gonna edit that in editing here. But anyway, all right. Let's go over our weapons now, guys. So, actually, let's go over mutations here. So, mutations, we have Adrenaline Reaction, Carnivore, Eagle Eyes, Eagle Head, Healing Factor, Hard Mentality, Marsupial, Scaly Skin, Speed Demon. Those are my mutations that I rock. Now, when you have Carnivore, you can swap this out with Herbivore if you want to. Okay? But it's totally up to you. I run Carnivore due to the weight that you get from the food items. But it's really up to you, okay? Herbivore is great for Company T. You get 25% regen. But, yeah. AP regen. But anyway, those are what I run here. So, we'll just go over our other buffs here. Other buffs I do take is Bobblehead Small Guns. Give you that plus 20% ballistic damage. I also take Ballistic Bach and Overdrive when I need that little bit of a push on bosses. Okay. So, let's go over the weapons. So, I use a lot of different weapons here. My main weapon is Fixers. As if you guys have been with me for a while now, you know my main weapon is Fixers, okay? So, we have a lot of different Fixers here. I'm going to go ahead and switch views so you guys can see this. Oh, someone's buying everything. Too bad on max caps. Anyway, we have a Bloodied Fixer. This is rapid with less VATS optimized. With VATS optimized. We have a Bloodied Explosive Fixer. Pretty cool. I run the Fixer probably 90% of the time, guys. We have a Bloodied Handmade. This is with rapid as well and VATS optimized. And we're going to go over the 4-star real quick. So, most of these weapons are going to be pinpointers. Now, the other 4-star that will work well with this build is the new Bullies. The reason why is because when you cripple a limb, you do 25% extra damage with Bullies. So, again, it's really up to you. This is one of those changes you guys can make. Now, I don't have a lot of bully mods, so I went ahead and went with pinpointers. Pinpointers is a 20% weak spot damage, so it's not too bad, okay, guys? Yeah, so it's really up to you whichever way you want to go, but bullies would do fantastic with this as well, okay? Also, fractures would do great if you're not in buildings, because you're going to die a lot, okay? Okay, let's get back to it. So, like I said earlier, this uses plasma rifles. Plasma rifles are very, very strong right now. They are OP, very strong, fantastic. So, I use this. This is my flamer version. We have anti-armor, rapid, durability, and polished on this. And then I use a quad, rapid, less VATS, and pinpointers on this. Fantastic, by the way. Great gun. I gotta use it more. And then we have another quad handmade here. Again, same thing. Rapid, VATS optimized pinpointers. And then we have a quad explosive fixer. Same thing. Except this one has polished on it. But it's still really good. We have a quad fixer. Exactly the same thing. Rapid, VATS optimized. This is what I use, guys. You guys can use anything. And you guys do plenty of damage with quad. Once you get all the buffs going, you get all the adrenaline reaction going, you get the adrenaline going, You guys are, we're doing plenty of damage. Okay. Now, this is the railway here. We have quad, critical damage, and action points cost, and pinpointers. Now, the thing with this is critical damage you can swap out for something else. A lot of people use rapid with their railway, but I like critical damage. I like that extra critical. Now, I use this when we do big bosses. Earl Williams, we use that. And of course, we got a quad gamma gun just for getting my rads up. So that's as far as weapons go, okay, guys? Another honorable mention is the Elder's Mark. Great gun. The assault rifle is also great. Laser rifle you can use as well with this build. Okay, so we have our armor here. Get that out of here. So, now, of course, this is all going to be unyielding. And we have power, thorough hikers, and rangers. Now, as far as the 4-star on here, I highly recommend you either use rangers or limit breaking. Some people will say use limit breaking. Some people will say rangers. I have used both. I have a ghoul commando build that uses limit breaking, so I understand how it works. So you can use both. It's really, both is perfectly fine. Both gives you what you need for this build for it to work, okay? It's totally up to you. This one, this specific armor, we use rangers in it. But anyway, we're looking at the Brotherhood Recon. I highly recommend you use Brotherhood Recon, Secret Service. If you don't have that, use heavy combat armor. Those are the 3 armors I recommend you use. You can also use Silver Engineer armor as well, if you want a jetpack specifically, and you don't have the other 2. So we have thorough hikers on this, powered. We have on this, we have unyielding, strength. Now, that's the thing that I need to get rid of. I do apologize. Instead of strength, I would go powered. You're going to have plenty of weight with this, okay? We will change that. We have powered as well, thorough hikers, rangers. On this, we have 2 strength, weapon, weight reduced, arms keeper. This one is powered, thorough hikers, rangers. So we have 3 powered and 2 strength. Now, I recommend not doing strength because you're going to have plenty of weight with this. But I would definitely do powered. Okay, guys? And, of course, thorough hikers. So those are our armor here. Okay, guys? So that's pretty much it as far as the build. Let's go test this out real quick, okay? Just so, you know, I didn't say that I didn't show you guys it. So, like I said, once you get all the buffs going, we also... Hey, we're back. I apologize. I'm going to have to cut that out. But we also use Overdrive and Ballistic Balk. I'm going to show you guys that real quick. That's what we use to boost up our damage as well. Very easy. I have a video on how to get Ballistic Balk in my channel if you guys want to go look at that, okay? That's what we use also. But we only use that really for boss fights. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you real quick. This is going to be quick. Let's just go with the straight Bloodied Fixer here. Now, once we get the killing going... Oh, we just died, guys. Again, like I said, this is Bloodied. Your health is going to be low. As you can see, I was barely near that Suicider, but like I said, your health is going to be low. You're going to die, okay? It's Bloodied, okay? So expect that. All right, let's get back into it. You guys ready? So also some other food items you can use is, I think, roasted Mirelurk gives you more AP. I use smoked Mirelurk fillets for weight. So those are some other food items that you can use. Let's actually take that right now. Roasted Mirelurk for max HP. So let's get in here real quick. We're going to run this real quick, guys. Video is already at 20 minutes. And like I said, guys, I am streaming over on Twitch and TikTok, guys. I'm going to try to stream every day, but if I'm not streaming, I'm usually off that day. Or usually choose not to stream. All right, here we go. All right, let's get back into this here. So again, this is just strictly Bloodied here. We're going to get our kill skills going here before we switch. Boom, look at that. All right, we're going to switch over to quad, and I am definitely hitting some stuttering going on. Quad is doing fantastic damage as well, as you can see. Now, I think another thing that you guys could put on these weapons is a 2-shot would be good, because it did catch a bit of a buff. So, feel free to do that as well. As you can see, bro, we're doing plenty of damage numbers with quad as well. We are shredding it. Alright, guys. I'm just going to show you that. That's all I was going to show you guys. Alright. We're doing plenty of damage based off this build. A few things, though. Like I said, Commando did take a bit of a nerf. It took like a nerf positive, okay? It took a nerf and then went up. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? But Commando is still very strong. Obviously, you're not going to be doing as much damage as you could be doing. But it's still very viable build. Now, have I tested this in raids? No. But have I tested this in Earl Williams? Yes. The railway rifle, still you're getting a lot of damage. I remember I was doing Earl Williams on the stream last night, and I was getting about I was almost hitting 2,000. It's not the same as it used to be, but we're getting damage numbers, okay, with the railway. So I hope you guys do enjoy this video. Before I do want to also say, guys, the plasma rifles are very, very, very strong right now. I recommend getting an EPR with this build, okay? Very strong. Hey, we'll show it off right now. Who's shooting me? Very strong with this build, guys. Very strong. Alright, guys. I hope you guys have a great day. And peace.